Hare Krishna. So, we continue our discussion on Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka that we have discussed this week. And we have so far discussed first 6 verses of Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka. For those who didn't attend this seminar on Śikṣāṣṭaka, I can give short summary what we have discussed this so far. In first verse of Śikṣāṣṭaka, we discussed 7 boons that the chanting of the holy names give to everyone. Of course, in the beginning, it cleanses the mirror of our heart and gives us proper knowledge, transcendental knowledge, that we can connect with the Lord, that we can understand our position in this world, because it's crucial to understand our position. And what is our position? What is our position actually?
Eternal servant of Krishna.
Yes, exactly. That we are eternal servant of Krishna. Yes, this is very important to understand. And Krishna is not some person far away. One may think that Krishna is person on the altar. But Krishna is not only the person in the altar, but His person in everyone's heart. And not only that His person in everyone's heart, but also, as Krishna Himself explains in 15th chapter of Bhagavata-dharma dasa, jiva loki jiva buddha sanatana. Every living entity is His part and parcel. So we should first understand, and proper chanting of the holy names gives us this understanding that we are actually the servant of every living entity. Yes. As long as we don't understand this and we fight with others and we envy them or we are angry at them, we didn't realize that the holy name is, or that the Lord is actually everywhere, and that we are a servant of everyone. Yes, how can we can be angry at our Lord and envy our Lord and hate our Lord? So this is crucial understanding for our spiritual progress, that we are servants of everyone. And therefore Lord Chaitanya also prays, Naham viprana cha narapatir na pivaishu na shudro, naham varnena cha griha patir nova nastoya tirva, kintu prodhan nikila paramananda purna pritabuder gopi bhartu upadakamalayur dasa dasanu dasa. Yes, this is very important to understand. I am not Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. I am not a sannyasi or vanaprastha or grihastha or brahmachari or anything like this. I'm not a man or a woman, not Christian or Hindu or Hare Krishna. These are all bodily designations that have nothing to do with my true self. And what is my true self? That I'm eternal servant of the servant of the servant of the maintainer of the gopis. Yes. Of Govinda Madhava. Yes, we should understand this. And give up this pride. This pride is a sign of illusion, that we are masters, and that we expect some respect from others. And if we are insulted, we are extremely agitated and we want to take revenge, or at least we cultivate bad feelings in our heart. But we should understand these bad feelings are directed against the Lord Himself. Don't ever cultivate bad feelings in your heart. Yes. Not against even most ferocious demon who is coming to kill you. Yes. So, therefore, Lord Krishna, Śrī Krishna Chaitanya explains in the next verses. First he explains, I have no taste for chanting. And this no taste is, of course, the consequence of offenses. And offenses, they mean that we don't understand that we are a servant. That we have no right whatsoever, we can say. If I ask you, who of you would like to live in the world of justice? Can you raise your hand? Who of you would like to live in the world of justice? Justice, yes, in the world of justice. But surprise, surprise, we are living in the world of justice. Yes, this is world of karma, is world of justice. And devotees actually don't want to live in the world of justice. They want to live in the world of mercy, of love. World of mercy means no justice. You get something you don't deserve. This is injustice, isn't it? Yes. So first we should understand, I'm a servant. And therefore these qualities, Trinadapi Sunichana Torori Vasa Hishtana Marina Manadena Kirtanyak Sadahari, are extremely important. Therefore, acharyas say, you should string this verse on the string of the holy name and wear it constantly around your neck for constant remembrance. That we constantly remember, I'm just a servant. Therefore, I have to be more humble than a blade of grass, tolerant as a tree, and not expect any respect for myself, but give respect to everyone, because we should understand that Krishna is my Lord and He is everywhere, in every living entity, and every living entity is His part and parcel. I should have this understanding. Of course, it's completely against our conditioned nature. It's completely against our natural instincts. And we want to fight. This is deep in our consciousness. Also, Lord wants to fight. so it comes from His nature. But still, Lord fights for fun. We fight for material existence. What else do we fight for? Yes, we fight for our reputation, we fight for our position, we fight for our well-being. Actually, we fight for our existence in this world. Yes, there is no other fight, and therefore envy comes because of this only, that someone else is usurping our position that we deserve. That we think they deserve, or we would like to deserve. Yes. And we hate everyone who is my competitor. Yes. Or can, according to my estimation, endanger my existence. Yes. So we should know that there is no material existence for me. Yes. Spiritual life means I give up my material existence. This doesn't mean that we should give up our duties. No. but we should perform them as service to Radha Govinda Madhava. Yes. We should always have this vision. Whenever I serve, it's only a service to Govinda Radha Madhava. And I can envision them in my heart for everything I do. So only if we have this disposition, we can really pray from our heart for ahetuki bhakti, for pure devotional service. As Lord Chaitanya prays, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. That I don't want wealth or followers or association of the opposite sex. Yes. How can we pray for this really from our heart if we don't take this position that I'm just a servant and not worthy of respect and to be more humble than a blade of grass and as tolerant as a tree. It's not possible to really pray. Maybe we know this verse by heart and we repeat it, but as long as we don't strive genuinely for these qualities, it would be just lip service, as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said. And lip service means just some empty talk. But Krishna understands our heart. Krishna is Saragrahi or Bhavagrahi, that accepts the essence, accepts our heart. So he knows very well what is in our heart. So, yes, and this is so important to understand. And only if we have this disposition, I don't want wealth, I don't want followers, I don't want opposite sex, I don't want to be regarded as a learned person, I don't want to have any position in this world, then only we can pray with the Lord Chaitanya, Ai nanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhuvam buddha kripaya tava pada pankajasita tulisa darsham vichintaya. That I have fallen in this terrible ocean of birth and death, of material consciousness. Please put me as a speck of dust at your lotus feet. And many people think that this is desire for liberation, but in the previous verse he says that Janmani Janmanishvari Bhavatad Bhaktira Haituki Tavi, that I don't mind being born again and again, as long as I have a Haituki Bhakti, pure devotional service. And so this terrible ocean is actually our mind, our desires, that keep us away from Krishna. This is this terrible ocean, and never-ending ocean. Yes. So we pray to the Lord, put me as a speck of dust at your lotus feet, so I'll be safe from this terrible ocean. Even if I'm born again and again, but I'll be in the shade of your lotus feet, so I'll be safe. Yes. And so then we discussed the next verse about the external symptoms of bhava. When Lord actually gets, or living entity, when prays like this from his heart and behaves like this and has such an attitude, can really deeply hanker for deep emotions for the Lord, because emotions are what really counts. Prabhupada in the prayers of Queen Kunti in Srimad Bhagavatam 8th chapter of first canto, explains that the progress in our chanting, the holy name, depends on the quality of our emotions. Yes. So these are not some empty sentiments that or that we are trained to shed tears. But it's about longing. It's about true longing for Krishna. And we cannot genuinely longing for Krishna if we don't adopt these qualities of being more humble than a blade of grass, of being as tolerant as a tree, and we don't, and if we expect respect for ourselves, and that we are not able to tolerate insults and injustices, apparent injustices in this world. So yes, therefore this should become the part of our exercise. We should exercise. This process is not mechanical, please understand. So many people believe that that spiritual life is something mechanical. I just move my lips for 2 hours and everything will happen automatically. Nothing will happen automatically. Therefore, Prabhupada didn't establish movement for moving lips for 2 hours, but he established Krishna consciousness movement. It's about our consciousness. Yes. Without consciousness, nothing will happen. And this is explained also by Krishna in 8th chapter of Bhagavad-gita. Yes. Everything depends on our consciousness. Therefore, Krishna is urging Arjuna, think of me, think of me, think of me. He doesn't say this only once, but repeatedly. Yes. Think always of me. Yes. And if you can't, then practice. Yes. Engage in exercising your consciousness. Abhyasa yoga yuktana. Constant practice. Yes, constant practice. Even when Arjuna has a doubt and says that the mind is more unstable than the raging wind and it's more difficult to control, still, Lord Krishna says, Abhyasana tu kaunteya vairagena cha grihate. Asamshayam manodur nigraham chalam. Abhyasana tu kaunteya vairagena cha grihate. So yes, I agree. Asamshayam, without doubt, that the mind is very, very strong and turbulent. But abhyasana tu kaunteya vairagena cha grihate. By constant practice and detachment. And detachment we saw this morning that it is a sign of bhava. It's natural symptom of bhava. But as long as we are not on the level of bhava, we have to practice it. And this practice we mentioned, this detachment, can be only achieved through attachment. Because we are tatashta shakti, means we are dependent shakti. We are not independent at any moment. So either we are always attached to something because we are not independent. We are attached to something. And if we are not attached to Krishna's internal energy, which is represented by Srimati Radharani, we are attached to Krishna's external energy, which is represented by Durga Devi. So yes, so this detachment for devotee is crucial because this detachment means attachment to Radha. Yes. Yes. So yes. So this is the summary of first 6 verses. Now we have a little time to discuss 7th verse. And this 7th verse is expression of bhava and prema. And Lord Chaitanya says, Yugaitam nimeshana chakshusha pravrishayatam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. So these are internal symptoms of bhava and prema, of course, because he cannot tolerate separation from Krishna. Yugaitam nimeshana chakshusha pravishayatam. He says that Yugaitam means the whole yuga. Yuga means thousands and millions of years. And nimeshana, it means just a blinking of an eye. If I can't see you for such a short period, it seems like eternity for me. But to have some understanding of this, Prabhupada many times translated this Yugaitam as 12 years or more. Because you can just imagine 12 years. If we take away 12 years of how old are we now, we can see we were quite young. According to our current calculation, at least for the older people, yes. 12 years. It's not such a short period, actually. 12 years. Yes. So, I will read translation. My Lord Govinda, because of separation from you, I considered even a moment a great millennium. Tears flow from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I see the entire world as void, the entire universe as void. Yeah. Without your presence, Govinda virahena me. So, how this applies to us, or for those of us who haven't attained this stage of consciousness? Yes. Because we have explained that our sadhya, or our goal, depends on our sadhana, on our practice. So these feelings are natural on the stage of bhava, they're natural on the stage of prema. But we should hanker for them on the stage of sadhana. If we don't hanker for them, we will never achieve them. Yes, because we will not develop desire to have them. And Krishna fulfills our desires. Spirit, we should know very well something. That spirit is free. Many don't want the spirit to be free. Yes. All those who are questioning God, why he didn't prevent this, why he didn't prevent that, or why he didn't provide this or provide that, they don't understand that spirit is free. Always free. From time immemorial, the spirit was free. Or has been free. Actually. Yes. So, we can do whatever we want. And we can assume whatever form we want, whatever bhava we want. Yes, we are free. So we can become a demigod if we want. And we can become a pig if we want. Both is possible. And Krishna will definitely approve. Yes, because spirit is free. Therefore, we should cultivate these feelings that we want to achieve. We should hanker for them. And therefore, it is crucial to develop this deep longing and the sense of vipralamba seva, that this service in separation. Because if we don't have this feeling of vipralamba, or viraha, of separation from Krishna, and that we cannot tolerate even, then it's not possible to develop purvaraga, actually. Purvaraga means preliminary attraction to the beloved before meeting happens. But this is of course very high position, but without hankering we cannot achieve it. Never. Never. So we should cultivate this, and cultivation is possible only when we realize something. When we realize how fancy some model of the phone is, we hanker for it maybe. To have all these functions we want. If we don't know, we don't hanker. So acharyas explain, therefore it is so crucial if we want to achieve any hankering, that we know the Lord, that we know His lila, sweetness of His lila. But to properly understand the sweetness of the lila, we should hear so much constantly, basic philosophy, even if we are advanced. We should still hear regularly, so regularly read Bhagavad Gita, regularly read Srimad Bhagavatam, daily. And daily read Chaitanya Charitamrita. In this way you can have proper understanding and proper advancement in spiritual life, and you can also start to hanker. I have met many devotees who are afraid to go deeper, and think that's not maybe proper. But this is ridiculous, because Lord Chaitanya came directly to give us this. So if we hesitate to accept this, we will maybe be robbed for something most valuable. And we shouldn't allow ourselves to be robbed. Yes. But of course, if we just jump on something with improper attitude, we'll also lose it, because then it will be just a shadow. We'll not try to catch the real thing. We'll just try to catch the shadow, and we can never catch the shadow. We'll just break our nose by jumping. Then it's like this assembly house of the Pandavas that was built by Mayadanava. When Arjuna helped Agni to consume Khandava forest, he saved Mayadanava from the fire. Mayadanava was a demon, but friend of Arjuna. And from gratitude, he built an assembly house in Indraprastha. And this assembly house was mysterious. For those who weren't favorably inclined towards the Pandavas, the solid floor seemed like water, and water seemed like solid floor. So when Duryodhana came to visit after Rajasuya Yagya, to visit Pandavas in this assembly hall, in Indraprastha, where there was a solid floor. He lifted his garments not to become wet. And where there was a water, he was thinking that this is a solid floor, and he fell into the water. And everyone laughed. Yudhishthira wanted them to stop laughing. Stop, don't laugh. But Krishna encouraged them with movement of his eyebrows. Because he wanted enmity that will destroy all the demons of the world to occur. And then at that time, Draupadi said something terribly. She said, the blind man's son is also blind. Commented on Duryodhana's bewilderment. Hare Krishna. Yes. And therefore, this Duryodhana and his brothers wanted revenge and wanted to disrobe Draupadi and insult her as much as possible. Yes. So, if we don't properly advance in our spiritual life, we'll also change solid flow for water and water for the solid flow. And we'll go for a shadow instead of the real thing. Therefore, we should constantly hear and constantly take shelter in the holy name. Yes. So we mentioned many times in this seminar that we should go deep in our chanting, that we shouldn't do anything during our chanting, that we shouldn't scroll our phones, that we shouldn't do anything else, just sit and chant. Yes. Don't look through the window, don't talk to anyone. Yes. Don't chant and drive. Of course, you can chant during your driving, but not your regular rounds. You should chant during your driving. You should chant all day long, accompanying your all other activities. Don't misunderstand me that you're not allowed to chant. But your regular rounds, you should chant in complete focus. Yes, in complete focus. If you want to connect and go deep. Yes, and one may say this is Sankirtan movement, glorifying Krishna together. Both is true, japa and Sankirtan. But quality of Sankirtan depends on our japa. If we don't go deep in our japa, no one can go deep in Kirtan. No one. Then it will be just some musical entertainment if we don't go deep in our japa. And also proper engagement in Kirtan is important for going deep in our japa too. So both are important in our life. Yes. So we should cultivate this hearing very much. I'm stressing this hearing, and there are examples of how this hearing helped great devotees in the past. For example, one of the most famous, or two examples we can cite, is first we will mention these ladies, wives of Yagyak Brahmanas. These Yagyak Brahmanas were extremely learned people, and they were austere and lived as brahmacharis for a long time in the Guru's ashram and so on. But when Krishna sent his friends to get some food from them, and they performed some sacrifice, they didn't respond. They didn't react at all. They completely ignored Krishna's most dear devotees. And so will happen to us if we don't hear regularly and get absorbed also in hearing Krishna Katha. We'll also ignore Krishna's devotees. We'll not hear what Krishna is begging from us to give him. So then Krishna sent his friends to Yogic Brahmanas, to wives of the Yogic Brahmanas. And immediately when they heard that Krishna is hungry, they fainted actually. And then they were extremely angry at their mind that they fainted. They collected all the best food meant for the yagya and ran with the food to Krishna, to the forest, disregarding their husbands and parents and sons who tried to prevent them to go to Krishna. And they came to Krishna, and Krishna was standing there in his beautiful yellow garments, and he was twirling the lotus flower in his hand, and looked like he's twirling their hearts. And he was very satisfied with them. And then he said, "Now go back." And they said to Krishna, like gopis actually, who went to Krishna, you can't do this to us. We disregarded everyone. If we go back to our village, we'll be killed. But then Krishna said, no one will blame you. I will personally take care of this. Even demigods will give them their consent that everything is okay if you go back. Yes. So, and then these Yogic Brahmanas, they realized that our wives are extremely advanced comparing to us. They are actually our gurus. But how it's possible? They didn't perform any sacrifice. They didn't undergo any austerity. They didn't live in the Guru's ashram. Nothing. They couldn't understand how it's possible for them to develop such deep love for the absolute personality of Godhead. But they didn't know a secret. And what was the secret? They regularly heard about Krishna from fruit sellers and others from Vrindavan. Fruit sellers, yes.
But so did the Brahmanas, didn't they?
No, because they didn't purchase these things from fruit sellers. Only women do the shopping. Yes. But even if they would, actually, because they were proud, they couldn't enter the mystery of Krishna consciousness. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya stresses so much, Trinada Pisunichana, Durori Vasagishana, be more humble than a blade of grass. And it's a curse of Advaita Acharya. He said to Lord Chaitanya, you should give prema bhakti to everyone, but not to those who are proud of their knowledge and anything else. So, if one is proud, he's cursed by Advaita Acharya himself, by the Lord himself. that he will not get bhakti. So yes, we should be extremely cautious not to become proud, or if we are proud, to destroy our pride, to remove it from our life. And the other example, of course, are women from Mathura. They also heard about Krishna. And when they heard that Krishna came to Mathura, they came running out of the houses. Yes, even though they were not properly ornamented. They put mascara on one side and on the other side not. And when they heard that Krishna is coming, they tried to decorate themselves, but they put things that belong to, I don't know, to the feet, they put on the ears. So in complete disarray, they were running out and on the roofs to see Krishna, to give a heart to Krishna. And when they were in arena and saw that Krishna is ready to fight with these great wrestlers, the great demons, they were the only one who objected that this is improper, this is adharmic, and if someone is silent when adharma is going on, he's also adharmic, and he will suffer the consequence. Yes, he's guilty of adharma. So yes, this is my point. By constant hearing of Krishna's lila, we'll develop this great longing for him, and this viraha, the sense of separateness, that we are separated from Krishna, and we will offer Krishna vipralamba seva, or service in separation. And then only we can hope for purvaraga, for this initial attachment for Krishna before we meet him for the first time. Yes. So we should constantly pray to Krishna for this deep hankering, if we don't feel it. And as we mentioned in our previous classes, keep Radha Govinda Madhava in your heart, in whatever you do, in whatever service you perform, or actually whatever you do in your life. When you take shower, when you take prasad, when you do your job, do whatever you do, keep this form of Radha Govinda Madhava in your heart, and with this consciousness, I'm just your servant. With this particular act, I'm serving you and nothing else. Please accept my feeble attempt to serve you. Hare Krishna. Is there any comment or doubt? Yes, please.
This is the story of a very poisonous snake, 2-3 meter long, and maybe a hood on the head, I don't know. Very dangerous. So everybody was very scared, afraid of him, and he was like feeling like a king and happy and enjoying life. And somehow or other he came in contact with Narada Muni. And he became a disciple of Narada Muni. And he was taught to be very humble, tolerant, this, then that, servant of everyone. But then everybody disrespected him. They were trampling on his head, taking like a rug on the floor, and he was beaten, So what to do then?
Yes.
Prabhu, est-ce que tu peux traduire en français ce que c'est?
Allez en français.
Cette histoire, c'était un gros serpent, 2-3 mètres de long, cobra royal, poisonneux comme c'est pas humain, avec même un joyau sur la tête. Et donc il terrorisait tout le monde, il faisait peur à tout le monde, donc tout le monde le laissait passer, il était comme un chef, comme un roi. Et d'une façon ou d'une autre, il est tombé en contact avec Narada Muni qui lui a dit Amanina Maladena, il faut être très humble, le serviteur de tous les êtres. Alors il a eu cette attitude, mais le résultat c'est que les gens lui marchaient dessus, ont complètement manqué de respect sur lui, le traitaient comme un paillasson, etc. Donc, qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire dans ces cas-là?
Yes, a very good question. And it's very interesting, Narada Muni's advice to this snake. He said to this snake that he should show the fangs like that he will bite them, bite the offenders, but he shouldn't do it. So, so what does this actually means? That if we want to live comfortably in this world, we can of course fight for our existence or show our teeth to those who try to destroy us. Depends, of course, on the level of our advancement. If we cannot tolerate insults, then of course we have to retaliate to some degree, that we keep our existence. For example, that we don't lose our job or something because of false accusations or anything like this. But more deep that we go, then we should act like Goswamis acted. For example, when this Digvijay came to Rupa and Sanatana, they just signed the letter of defeat without losing their time to debate with this Digvijay. Of course, Jiva Goswami couldn't tolerate that their gurus are defeated just because of their humble disposition. So he defeated the Digvijay. But this is also instructive for everyone, that we shouldn't tolerate insults of other Vaishnavas, but we should tolerate insults towards us. So Rupa and Sanatana did tolerate insults towards them, but Jiva Goswami didn't. But when Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami banned Jiva Goswami because of this from Vrindavan. And he said that you discussed with this rascal Digvijay just because of your pride. He falsely accused Jiva Goswami actually, because Jiva Goswami didn't have any pride. And he said, proud persons don't have place in Vrindavan, so you should go out of Vrindavan. And Jiva Goswami didn't try to protect himself and prove him that he was wrong, and just went out of Vrindavan as he was instructed by his guru. And so he went to some cave and just chanted all day long, all day and nights. And he was chanting the holy name all the time and calling for the mercy of his spiritual master. And yes, then Sanatana Goswami said to Rupa, after he heard from some villagers that there is a sadhu who's calling all day and night, and that he doesn't take any food or anything. And then Sanatana Goswami, who was considered by Rupa as his spiritual master, he said that the quality of a Vaishnava is Jiva Daya. It means mercy to Jiva, or to the living entity. But of course, Rupa understood that this is that one should be mercy to Jiva Goswami. Yes, so it's important to strive for this genuine humbleness. Yes.
What to speak of Jada Bharat?
Jada Bharat, yes, was the next example, who tolerated even to be his head cut off. But yes, he went so far that his head was ready to be cut off. And then the goddess Kali couldn't tolerate it. And she jumped from the altar and killed all the demons and played football with their heads. The ghastly scene. And Jada Bharat again was completely unaffected. Yes. And he was pure devotee, he wasn't a jnani. Hare Krishna. You had a question, yes?
Hare Krishna, merci pour cette merveilleuse classe. Et je voulais savoir, comprendre comment, en étant aussi humble, on peut avoir le désir de quelque chose aussi élevé.
She wants to understand how by being so humble you can aim for something so high.
Yes, this is a good question. Thank you. Because we can aim for something that is natural for us. This is our nature. Because Jivaras Rupa Hoy Krishna Nityadas, we are always servant of Krishna. And we are one of Krishna's Shakti. We are part of the Tatastha Shakti. And we know that all Shaktis emanate from the Supreme Shakti. So we are part and parcels of Srimati Radharani. So it's extremely natural that when we hear about Radha and Krishna and their love play, that we hanker only for this, because this is our only life. What to hanker for? Yes. We cannot hanker for anything else. Yes. Therefore, it's so important to hear this, because this hankering is not intellectual. That we intellectually hanker. We hanker from our heart. But to get to our heart, we should hear a lot. Yes. Every day. If we don't hear, we cannot develop hankering. Then everything will be just theoretically, and will theoretically think that this is too high for me, because actually it's the highest possible level. And I know theoretically that I'm low. So it will seem to us intellectually that it is completely impossible to attain it. And it is true. Intellectually it is completely impossible to attain it. But one of the symptoms of bhava we discussed, it's hope against hope. But we will not have genuine hope if we don't, if it's not awakened in our heart by constant hearing and chanting. Yes, therefore this Shravanam and Kirtanam is so important, it's unavoidable. We should go deep in both. in chanting and in hearing or reading, regular reading about Krishna's lila, about Krishna Katha, Krishna's philosophy. Yes, so this is crucial for our life. Then we can naturally hanker, not on intellectual level. Is this okay? Hare Krishna. Yes.
Justement, un peu dans ce sens-là, moi je préfère écouter que chanter. Peut-être je n'ai pas encore assez écouté pour avoir le goût de chanter. Ouais, écouter tout.
In this sense, she prefers to hear than to chant, but maybe she didn't hear enough that she likes to chant.
What is the question?
C'est pas vraiment une question.
Si c'est est-ce que je n'ai pas suffisamment écouté pour avoir le désir de chanter.
She prefers to hear than to chant, but she doesn't taste to chant. So maybe the question is, did she not hear enough that she doesn't like to chant?
Yes, by hearing, we understand that chanting is crucial for our spiritual life. And then we understand that chanting is actually the most intimate relationship that we can have in this material world with Radha and Krishna. It's actually most intimate service to Radha and Krishna. And without such intimate relationship established through chanting, we cannot really hanker for such a relationship. Yes. So hearing is of course important, and it can deepen and facilitate our chanting. Yes. But as explained by Jiva Goswami, all spiritual activities in Kali Yuga should be accompanied by chanting of the holy name. Because Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Namaiva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyata. There is no other way than chanting of the holy name in Kali Yuga. Yes. Therefore, any activity of devotional service should be accompanied by chanting the holy name. And only by sufficient reading and understanding, and not that we just read some Mahabharata or Ramayana. They're good, of course, but we will not develop deep relationship with Radha and Krishna by reading these. Actually, no relationship can be developed by reading these books. So Bhagavatam is so essential. And Bhagavad-gita and Chaitanya Charitamrita. These are the basis. And of course then also other books of Srila Prabhupada, of our Goswamis. Yes. So we are Rupanugas. And this is the greatest mercy, that we are Rupanugas. Yes. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Yes, please.
One last question. In the Shiva Parampara, so Paramacharya line, there is explained why Shiva put his when he drank, that he drank the poison the poison in the causal ocean.
Yes.
And why he put it on his throat? Why he didn't spit it up? And why he didn't drink it? They explain that he didn't drink he put it on the throat because he didn't want to drink this poison, because in order to drink this poison, he had to pass through the heart where his Lord Krishna resides, and he didn't want to contaminate, Lord Shiva didn't want to contaminate Shiva with his poison.
Yes,
For that
and
reason, out of humility, he put it on his
throat.
throat instead of put it on his throat. This is a spiritual reason. There is another reason, more down to earth reason, that he didn't spit it, he didn't spit it off. The poison actually represents the criticism. When people criticize us, Lord Shiva, the pure devotee of Krishna, is explaining us how to deal with this criticism. He didn't drink, not to drink it, put it in the stomach, because put it in the stomach means I am 100% right, I'm 100% wrong, I cannot do any service, I'm guilty, I cannot do any longer any service. This is not the right attitude. He didn't also speed it up, like this. No, they are 100% wrong and 100% right. He explained that actually in the criticism, when people criticize them, there may be some enviousness, there may be some anger, they may be angry against us, they may be bad, but they may have some truth maybe that within this criticism.
Mhm.
So how to deal with that? Just follow his example and to be able to accept this criticism as valuable diamonds which allow us to grow and to become stronger in Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
So my question is how to reach that level to accept criticism as a gift.
Yes, very good question. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, if someone is glorifying us, we should not object. And just think how merciful are devotees. They see good in everyone, even the lowest personality. And if someone criticizes us, he explains that one should think that this person is very merciful. Actually, he points out only a fraction of my bad qualities. Yes, how to reach the level. We should practice. Yes, this will not come automatically. But we shouldn't practice, as we mentioned, we shouldn't practice anything without this idea that I'm a servant of Krishna, that it's my service to you. This practice is service. Not just like a jnani or tapasvi, that we practice but still cultivate some envy in our heart, but just not react on the surface. Yes, so we should take it, as long as we are not on this level of understanding that is actually mercy, we should take it as Krishna's mercy. Yes. And we should know it, that it's for my ultimate benefit. Yes. That Krishna is teaching me mildly how to advance spiritually. And therefore this famous verse, Tattenu kampam susamikṣamano punčānai vatma kritvam vipakam kritvākpahur pirvidadannamasti jivetayu muktipade sadaibhak. Lord Brahma explains that devotee prays like this, that these different terrible things in my life are your mercy, my Lord. And although they are happening to me, I still glorify you with my mind, words and body. Yes. So this should be our attitude. We should, as long as we are not imbibe these qualities, we should intellectually know that it's good for me to tolerate them, and we should practice this tolerance as a service, not as independent practice, as a service, as bhakti. Otherwise it will become jnana avrita, or obstacles of jnana to our bhakti, and it will work against our devotion. So it should become as a practice, as a service to Radha Govinda Madhava. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your attention. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Śrī Śikṣāṣṭakam ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.